Last night was the end of an era for one of the greatest duos in the history of the National Basketball Association. Dwyane Wade came into the Staples Center, played his last game against LeBron James, tried to win the game with that, tried to tie the game with that shot. LeBron James was like, I know you too well. You're not going to win. It was a wonderful event. There was a video for Dwyane Wade. It was the first time it really kind of felt a little bit like a farewell tour for Dwyane. I love this moment because I love relationships. I love friendships. What do you think the legacy of this partnership will be moving forward?
First and foremost, a kinship that is bigger than sports. And it's great to always see how basketball or professions bring people together, and all of a sudden you have a relationship that's way larger than the score of the game. Champions, teammates, one of the best duels of all time, and also the individuals that help usher in this era of super teams. People forget Pat Riley was actually the person pulling those strings.
Yep.
We, in hindsight, look at that situation like it was a LeBron James thing or a Dwyane Wade thing. Well, there had to be somebody that cleared that cap space prior.
Yes.
Okay, so I think they now gave LeBron James a championship formula and pedigree that once he got to Cleveland, allowed him to take a lot of people from Miami that was a part of that championship scenario. Also know how to relate to Kyrie and Love, because this is what he had to deal with his peers in Wade and Bosh, and it eliminated a 50-year plus drought in Cleveland of championship glory, because everything that he learned in Miami, he was able to bring it to Cleveland. And once he was able to achieve that there, now he can end up where he chose, and in this case, the Los Angeles Lakers.
And don't forget, when he went to Miami, they had already won a championship. Dwyane Wade was already a champion, had an amazing finals, and Pat Riley, obviously Pat Riley's got rings. And it is sort of one of the stories that, like, LeBron James, we know what happened in Cleveland. We know what happened with that final roster. We know who he carried. Shout to Boogie Gibson. And we know what happened there. But, like, it seems like his time in Miami and his time with Wade is what helped him turn the corner, as you mentioned. But one thing I love about this duo is there's this thing from veterans like you, people that play the game a long time. Oh, back in my day, we weren't friends. We would never fraternize with the enemy because we all hated each other because we were real competitors. But what Dwyane Wade and LeBron James have proven is like, hey, just because we play against each other doesn't mean we can't be close friends. Doesn't mean that our families can't like each other. Doesn't mean we can't go on vacation. There's nothing wrong with that. There is nothing wrong with that.
The words you just said, please save this clip, anybody that loves basketball. The words you just uttered about friendship, which now bleeds into familiarity. You have to look no further than last night. Because after the game, when Dwyane Wade tried his go-to move and he missed it because it was tightly defensed by LeBron James, what did he say?
He said, oh, I tried my go-to move, but we played together so much, and you saw it. But is his go-to move really to turn his back to the basket from 25 feet when you need 3 points? Is that really your go-to move?
So this theory that familiarity to your opponent and having a level of friendship with the guys you're going against doesn't affect the product, it can, because of what we just said. And it did last night. Now, here's the other thing. It's a lie when people say they compete against their enemy tougher than they do against their friend. Somebody that tells you that, they don't respect you, because that's a bold-faced lie. Number two, how about this? And this is really fascinating. Both of these guys are in their 16th seasons. In their 16th season, they only played 4 together. They were in the East about 10 more years together. Never played each other in the playoffs.
Never happened once.
So if they were to play each other in the playoffs, then we don't know how that would change the relationship. Look over my right shoulder.
Yep.
That was in the playoffs. And you know who Magic's head coach was? Pat Riley. And he didn't like it then, and he definitely don't like it now.
What do you think about the notion that they ushered in the era of super teams? Now, obviously, there were the Celtics, but, like, what do you think about the notion that they ushered in the era of super teams, these two?
So here's what they usher, and this is more of a LeBron James thing that also piggybacks this topic. is there was a big three in Boston, but it was front office driven, even though KD had to waive his no trade clause.
That's a good point.
To put together Ray Allen and Paul Pierce.
KG. Yeah.
This seemed to be player driven because LeBron James was an MVP. So it seemed to be the first domino for the league that players started to take a level of ownership that I want to play in a situation where I choose that's going to get me closest to a championship. Therefore, people like Kevin Durant, who in 2010 frowned upon this.
Yeah, he tweeted about it.
Not only when the Heat did it, but when the Lakers did it. And he had his Twitter fingers. I assume this was his regular account. I don't think it was his regular or his burner
that's his real account. That's his real
at
account.
the time. Now that fascinates me. Look at the teams he named. He got license plates on there.
The Heat and the Lakers.
Heat and the Lakers. Now, it didn't work with Dwight Howard and Steve Nash and Kobe Bryant and Mike D'Antoni.
How?
But he was able to take that baton and leave the Oklahoma City Thunder when they just, unlike Wade, unlike LeBron, played each other in the playoffs and lost. And joined a 73-win team. So that is a part of the legacy and kinship/friendship that goes with the greatness of one LeBron James and Dwyane Wade.
You don't hear about GMs recruiting players as much as you hear about players recruiting players nowadays. And I think they had something to do with that.